welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be part 2 of my Mykonos travel chit chat, where I'll be covering where to stay, what the nightlife is like, and just other random facts that I think will help you if you're planning your trip to the beautiful Mykonos, Greece. So let's get started. So as I mentioned in my first video, if you have not gone to watch that video, go ahead and click over to that one and then come to this one unless you really don't care about scoring awesome flights to Mykonos, Greece. And if you do, I suggest you just hop over there and come back. See you in a little bit. Okay, so like I said in my first video, I definitely always use TripAdvisor because I trust their reviews with my life. I knew through my research that I wanted to stay close to Mykonos town, so that was my #1 factor. #2 factor was price. We had already kind of spent not a lot of money on our flights over there, so I thought we could splurge just a little bit more, but also wanted to stay within a certain budget. So once I filtered my search down to about less than a mile possibly to Mykonos town, I ended up with Hotel Tagu. Like I said before, I trust reviews, and this one had some good ones. Every single review that I read, this place was like a family. They were so welcoming. It was very clean. It was very beautiful. It had a wonderful pool, a wonderful staff. So when I read all of those, I was like, we're gonna go with Hotel Tagu. Honestly, when you think about it, hotel accommodations can really make or break a trip. Have you ever been on a trip where the hotel kind of sucked? That's all you remember was, oh yeah, we had such a great time, but the hotel was awful. I didn't sleep good. The shower head didn't work. It was too hot or too cold, or it was loud and noisy, so we didn't get much sleep. Your hotel is really important. Even if you're just gonna go on a party bender and all you wanna do is sleep there, come back drunk, pass out, and get out, you still want a nice place to stay and somewhere that's close enough to where you wanna go. In comes the perfect place to stay, Hotel Tagu. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. It's about a 7-minute walk downhill to Mykonos town, which is about a $5 euro. Because I said downhill, me and Paul did not walk uphill once. Every time we returned, it was super late and it was dark and we just didn't really feel like going up a hill. More importantly than the location was just the feeling that you got just being at the hotel. It's owned by this super cute family, a mother and father and all of their sons and adopted sons who are the staff that work at the hotel, and they really do try and make your trip Greek, authentically Greek. Awesome and common benefit was the free transfer from the airport. When we first arrived to the airport, our bags didn't make it from Athens. That could be another story that I can tell you guys later on. But they were so kind enough to even make sure that our bags got there the next day. They were kind enough to put our bags in our room while we were sitting at the pool. We had no idea that our bags had even made it from the airport. We just assumed that we'd have to find our way back to the airport, get our bags, and come back. So it was really, really nice to feel like we were being taken care of and really cared for. I honestly think the best feature, besides being taken care of by this wonderful family, was the amazing pool and bar. Let me tell you, I will put a picture up here so you guys can see it. When I tell you, if we could have spent every single day at the pool, we probably would have. Besides the hospitality, the pool, the views, like the clean rooms, it's just the overall feel of being there. It's really a place that you feel almost homesick. I have to say, I've never felt homesick for a place that I'd only been to once, but the second that we left, I was like, oh man, like serious FOMO, like how's Anna doing? How's the family doing? How are their other guests doing? Because we got to connect with the other guests on their Greek night, which I think is super special. It felt really authentic. Anna teaches you an authentic Greek food, and we also did a traditional Greek dance, but you'd have to go to experience that. This video is going to be a lot longer if I keep talking about Hotel Tagu. I'm telling you, it is just that fantastic. Hi everybody out there, if you guys are watching this video, we miss you guys. We will see you again next year. But now let's talk about nightlife in Mykonos. But Mykonos is known for their party. If you didn't know, now you know. We're in the early season and we still came home every night between 5 and 7 a.m. Let that soak in. We were in the early season, the very early season of Mykonos' party scene, and we came home every night between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. Go into Mykonos town and go to a restaurant and have an early dinner. Always want to see the sunset. Little Venice, write this down, Little Venice is the place to go for any of your sunsets. Or if you're staying at Hotel Tagu, the pool, I'm telling you, is just as amazing. It's a higher up level, so you feel like you're like right there with the sun. But Little Venice, by the windmills, remember that, by the windmills is the place to go for any kind of sunset. Get yourself a nice hearty dinner because nightlife doesn't start until midnight. I suggest dressing a little bit warmer in the beginning of May because at night it did cool down to about 55 or 60 and I did get a little chilly sometimes, but trust me, once midnight rolls around, you get a couple drinks in your system, you probably won't feel it or care. Somewhere really specific that you want to go, I suggest you just do what we did. We kind of just went with the flow. At midnight, most of the restaurants in the front of Mykonos town kind of close up a little bit, and all the ones that are closer to Little Venice get poppin'. And you can just go down all the nice little white alleys and just listen for the music and just hop into bars. Just go with the flow, have a good time, and find out which bar is best for you. Mentioned we were there for the early season. If you want to go in a later season, that season starts at the end of May and goes all the way through the end of August. So you definitely have plenty of time in between then to really get into that crazy nightlife. Like I said, forewarning, we did not come home most nights until the sun was rising. You already know what you're getting yourself into. Definitely most of the beach bars I'm sure are crazy. When we went, the beach bars were a little bit mellow, which we were fine with because we were definitely going to relax during the day. But at night, I can only imagine what those beach bars look like. Now that we talked about nightlife, trust me, the Greeks know how to party. You have to prepare yourself before you go. Mentally, right now, when you're planning your trip, when you're booking your tickets, start mentally preparing yourself because you're going to have a great time. You may not remember some of it, but as long as you take pictures and snaps, they disappear eventually, right? I'm going to run down a quick list of 10 things that I didn't expect, that I want you to know, and things of that nature. Number 1, you do not flush toilet paper down the toilet on the island of Mykonos. They have a very old plumbing system, and that's a big no-no. 2, cats. Everywhere. If you are not a cat person, if you are allergic to cats, if you're just not used to being around cats, let me let you know right now that cats rule Mykonos. They're in the restaurants, they're outside of the restaurants, they're walking next to you, they're coming up to you, they're pretty much everywhere. Get used to it, become friends, that's it. Number 3, tipping customs. It's pretty much up to you. When you go to every country, I think it's really important, especially if you're going to be in and out of restaurants and bars, which I'm sure you are, to learn the tipping customs. You don't want to go to another country and be that rude American who doesn't know how to tip. 4, general drink prices. So I live in Washington, D.C., and if you live in any other metropolitan city around the United States, you probably understand that a cocktail is going to cost you about $10 to $13. Expect the same thing in Mykonos, but even a little bit more. I pretty much drank mojitos the whole time I was there. Go figure, you go to Greece and drink a bunch of mojitos, but they were the best mojitos I think I've ever had. They were super, super fresh, and they were average about $13. You will go to certain places where they're going to be a little bit higher than that. And you can also get drinks that are a little bit lower than that. You can get their Greek beer called mythos. Those I saw were about €5 to €6. If you want to stick to those, they also have bottle service if you want to go and blow 18,000 euro. There is plenty of that if you're bowling, so don't you worry. But if you are not used to those kind of drink prices, definitely something to look out for. You are going to be spending a little bit more than your average happy hour price in the United States. 5, transportation. So Mykonos is an island. It's not that big of an island. You can definitely ride around with it. If you need to, you can rent a car, you can rent an ATV, you can rent a Vespa type scooter. All of those are available for different amounts of prices, but they're actually pretty affordable per day. While we were there, we actually did not. We took the bus when we went to the beaches, which was €180 each way, which was like nothing at all. So it's really up to you how you want to get around the island. And there are 7 food prices. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for. If you want to go to a normal seafood restaurant, entrees run from anywhere from €14 to €26 to €72. It really depends on what you're looking for in your budget. You can also find kebabs that are €1.80 per kebab, and pita and tzatziki and things like that. Like they're fast food, I guess you could refer to it as. You can definitely find tons of that. Number 8, it is a super relaxed culture. We had to get into that mode and kind of get used to it because when we had a plan in our mind, like, all right, we're going to go down to Mykonos town, we're going to get dinner, and then we're going to go to a bar right after. We weren't thinking like, hey, we're going to go to dinner for like 2 hours, but Greek, they're very relaxed. They're very just kind of go with the flow, enjoy your meal. No rush at all. We got that a couple of times at the restaurants. It was like, hey, no rush. We'd ask for the bill, and they kind of just like mill around, and we're like, okay, like we're waiting for the bill, and they're just like, relax, chill, and they'd bring us some ouzo, which is a shot of like an authentic Greek alcohol, and we'd be like, okay, we're not gonna get out of here anytime soon. So just know that it's a very relaxed culture. They want you to have a good time. They want you to sit, enjoy the food for what it is. They're not gonna bother you too much, but they are definitely hospitable and will help you with anything that you need. 9 is the climate and the weather. So like I said previously in this video, we went from May 4th to May 10th, and during the day it got up to about 75, 78. Some days felt really hot, and not like a humid hot, more of like almost like a dry heat with a little bit of wind. But at night the temperature definitely dropped down to about 50, 55 degrees. So just be mindful of that. At night, once that sunset goes down at around 8:15, it's gonna get a little chilly, so bring a sweater with you or bring a scarf or long pants, whatever makes you feel comfortable. But just be mindful of that climate change earlier in the season. As the season goes on, end of May, June, August, we have not experienced that just yet, but talking to the locals, it gets pretty toasty. So also be prepared for that. 9.5 pertaining to the weather and climate as far as the water and swimming. The water, as in the sea at the beaches, was not warm enough for my taste. Used to swimming in cooler water, you probably would have a good time. I can't give you an exact degree of what the water was, but I know when I put my feet in, I didn't want to put my feet in, and it was a little cold. I got in it, some of the other guests got in it. Once again, I put my feet in it, and that's as far as I was going. Number 10 is just, you're gonna have the greatest time of your life. Literally, I don't know what it is, call me dramatic, but I feel like going to Mykonos and experience it, going to Greece period, was just like joining some like exclusive club. I felt like so established and just so like welcomed when I was there. Although this place is amazing, it's beautiful. People have no reason to be upset living there because it is gorgeous. The sunsets, the food, the atmosphere, it was just wonderful. So when you book those tickets, just countdown, start the countdown, break out the champagne, because you're about to have the greatest time of your life, and I mean that with my whole heart, my whole half Greek heart. All that information now chalk into your brain. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, definitely comment below and let me know, or you can DM me. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I will put it right here for you, and be sure to look out for the vlog coming out in the next couple of weeks, super soon. All the views, I'm telling you, 2017. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you are not subscribed and you like this video, go ahead and hit that button to subscribe, and I'll see you next time in my next video. DIY to come, y'all, and it's a good one. Bye, guys.